Good afternoon. As I said at the end of the last video, I was hoping that this would be a photo shoot video, but circumstances got in the way, so I'm completing my three-part printing with the Epson ET-8550 series this time. If you recall, last time I did this, I was finding that the prints using anything other than Epson's own paper being done from the Epson print layout using ICC profiles, we're getting the colors right, but the prints were coming out rather dark. And I mentioned that with the Epson print layout, what you see is what you get. You're not going to be able to affect that too much. But with Adobe products, you can get much better results and fine-tune the print images. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be showing it on Lightroom because that's pretty much my standard program. And let's see how you proof a picture and get it set up properly for being able to print a good copy. Here we are in Lightroom. Now this is the image I've been using in the past for my test photos of my own work. This time I'm going to go to the one I took afterwards, the vertical format one, and the reasons should be obvious by the time I start doing processing on this. Now what I'm going to want to do is go to Develop. You have the standard image. Now you're going to look down here. See this little checkbox called Soft Proofing. This allows you to preview what your print will look like. So you want to click on Soft Proofing. But you see it's very dark against the white there. What we've got is this is the profile, which, as you know, is the Moab LaSalle Exhibition Luster. I'm using Perceptual Intent right now. I also have Simulate Paper and Ink checked. This gives me a very good preview of what it's going to look like where I print it right now. As you can see, the areas around here are quite dark. It's kind of muddy there. So what you're going to want to do now is click on the Create Proof Copy. That makes a virtual copy of your image so you can run processing it from there. Now, what I like to do at this point is to set the before and after views. So I can see this is what it starts out with, and I can look at what I want to have it come to in the end. So right now, I'm looking at this, and it's looking like the blacks need to come up a little bit. So I'm going to bring them up about like that. That helps. Small amount there. I'm also think that the white is a little bit off the edge here, so I'm going to bring the white also up a little bit. Now, having done that, about like there. Now the white is good, but now it's gotten a bit too light. So I'm going to take down the highlights a bit. Take them down about here. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's about as low as I can get. Now looking at these, I think I need a bit more of the shadows brought in. Just a very small amount, but about to there. Yeah, I think to there. Now what you can see here is, at least from the preview, is that look at the texture on the grasses here. It's somewhat brighter than in here. These are more uniform, kind of a less contrasty thing. By changing these, it makes the distinctions of the tonalities much sharper. Also, you can see, for example, these shadowy areas here are somewhat brighter against the real dark stuff down here. So that's going to bring out more texture, and also similarly you can see the dark parts here and the dark parts here are a bit lighter, so it's not going to seem as dim and muddy. Otherwise it looks very good. So now what I'm going to do is take it over to the print module. Print module is set up to print as it will be. Print sharpening is standard. Media type is glossy, which I understand is what you're supposed to use for this. The profile is the Moab Exhibition Luster, as I mentioned, the Perceptual Intent. Now, before printing, I'm going to do one thing. I'm not just going to hit the print button. I'm going to go to Printer. And I've done this before, so it should be set up properly, but notice the items here. The paper type, you want it on ultra premium photo paper luster, because as you'll recall from my last tutorial, that you look up the PDF that comes with these profiles, and you'll see that LaSalle Exhibition Lusters was used the medium type of ultra premium photo paper luster. So that's what I'm going to be using there. The other thing I'm checking on is to make sure that the rear paper feeder is chosen, because normally it comes with auto, and no matter what paper you put in the rear paper feeder, if it's on auto, it's going to default to any paper that is loaded in the internal cartridge of the ET-8550, which is the regular plain white printer like you'd use for like photocopies and things like that. And obviously that's not going to work at all. It's just going to print and waste a lot of ink on a very poor image. So you don't want to use that. You'll make sure you have it explicitly on the rear paper feeder. If you have it in the rear paper feeder, of course. There's also a front one. But then you also want to make sure the quality is on high. Color is obviously color. At this point, you can just click on OK, then you click on OK again, and you send the printer or the file that you have. Now here's a print that I made before making these adjustments, just with the profile. And here we have one that is after. Now this is going to be a problem because I really don't have good lighting here, and if I try bringing a light in, I get glare off the luster on this paper, which is a problem. But I can tell you right now, I'm not sure how well it can show up in the print, that, for example, this one, look, these branches over here look very muddy. And here they stand out more. Similarly, the areas around the reeds here are much brighter and have more saturation. And if you look back here, where the trunk goes into the shadow, it just looks completely blacked out there. Whereas in this one, you can actually see the trunk standing out against the background. So this is the original non-proofed image, and it's okay, but it's somewhat dark. And here is the adjusted photo. So as you can see, this has a great deal more tonality range, and there isn't so much of the blown out or crushed in the blacks, and is a far better representation of the original image. Now, one thing I should note is that once you've made that proof copy that we've been working on, it stays behind in a stack with all of the other versions of that image in Lightroom. So in the future, if you want to print with that, all you have to do is just bring up the proof copy and print that one, and you don't have to go back in and adjust it all the time. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this and you find it interesting and educational, and I will be seeing you next time. Bye.